couple of highlights for me when I reflect on everything that happened in that incredible 2 weeks. The welcome we received from these big-hearted groups of people that have just experienced so much devastation in recent months was just incredible. One in particular stands out for me. At each town, we were greeted by all of the children from the school. When we turned up at Yulo, the entire school turned out, and that was 2 children. It was just so incredible. They were standing on the other side of the bridge, one that had recently been flooded, and they were jumping up and down and they were screaming, and I think it just meant so much to them that we didn't just keep rolling through because there was only 2 children. It really meant a lot to them that we took the time to just stand, show them our bikes, talk about what we were doing, why we were doing it, and of course it really made the teachers' day as well. A couple of other experiences that come to mind. One was definitely rolling into Thargomindah. They were really one of the most significantly hit by the floods in Western Queensland. When we turned up into the town, it really struck me, knowing what they had been through, that had I not known, I would never have realised what had happened in that town, other than the fact that there was caravans in the majority of yards. If I didn't know any better, I might think how lucky they were to have a caravan. But the really sad reality is that's where they're living at the moment because their houses are uninhabitable. So I felt really privileged that I was aware of what was really going on, because otherwise I just may not have realised, because the town had really worked together in such a targeted way to get that town back up on its feet. And it really was. It was clean, it was beautiful, and the spirit of the town when they turned up at our event, when we arrived, I just would never have known anything had happened, because there's just this incredible level of stoicism out there with our regional and remote living Western Queenslanders. One of the really important aspects of doing this ride was, of course, we wanted to raise money. But for me, it was really important that anyone that saw us, either on social media or in person, realised that Lifeline Darling Downs is a local organisation. We are there for our community, we live in our community, and we deliver services face to face to the people we live with. One of the things that was really important for me was holding events in each town so that we could have all of the community members meet the actual teams that are out there delivering services every day, and talking to them about really important issues like mental health, about suicide prevention, all of the services that we deliver, whether it's domestic and family violence or financial counselling or youth programs. That was just so wonderful, because I think before we did that, some people had an idea of who we were, what we did, but there were so many other people that realised that now they can actually call us and we'll come out and see you. You don't need to come into an office. If we need to come out and meet you at your farm gate or jump on the back of your ute, we're going to do that. What I hope to achieve out of doing the Lifeline 3000 ride is a couple of things. One is I want people to really deeply understand who we are, that we are local, and that we are there when something goes wrong in your life. There's a pretty good chance that we're going to have a service that can meet you where you are at. It's not about us telling you what you need to do, but it's about us sitting with you and first and foremost listening, but helping you on your journey to get back on your feet, no matter what is going on for you at that time. And if we can't do it, because we live in the community, we know who can, so we'll always get you to where you need to be. None of this would have been possible without not only my staffing team right across the region, but also the towns. They have been dealing with their own stuff, whether it was the recent floods or there's been droughts, there's been fires, there's been a whole range of things happen over the last several years. In every location, community members, they turned up, they wanted to hear what we had to say, and they also conducted their own fundraising activities to support us. They put on events, they paid for it themselves. They didn't need to do any of that, and that they are, as I said, they're juggling all their own things at the moment, but they were there for us. And I think that was really nice that they saw us as being part of their community, which we are. For my wonderful team who turned up in every town, and they kept driving town after town after town, they just did so much to make these events incredible, whether it was just having conversations with people, cooking barbecues. A lot of them had to drive a long way themselves. Some of them were camping out in between towns, and none of this would have been possible without that really enormous collective team, which I'm just so grateful for. When we first set upon this fundraising activity, one of the things I committed to our donors was that any money raised was going to go directly to the Western Queensland flood-affected communities. Really happy to say that we've raised close to $60,000 so far. That money, I want to give an assurance, is going to go back to those flood-affected communities. Whether we put on a part-time staff member to be able to do all the things I've been talking about, or whether we run groups, depending on what that community wants, we will be doing that, and we'll be doing that in the very near future. We could not have been able to do that without the incredible generosity, particularly of individuals, not just from our region, but right around Australia. And it is really down to their generosity that we have been able to do this, and the next step that we'll be able to take.